احنا نحتاج فعلا لفتح آفاق للتحاور وهذا التنوع، أن يحمى بهذه الخيمة الكبيرة للدين، يعني الدين لله، وهذا التأصيل لأن يكون الأديان كلها للخالق واحد. فنعطي للمطران دروغا رئيس الكنيسة البروتستانتية في برلين الكلمة الآن، وأنا أعتقد أرى جازما أنها لن تخرج عن هذا الإطار الإنساني، السلام في تعاطي البشر فيما بعضهم البعض.
First, I want to say a warm welcome to you, the guests, the international guests of this conference in my city in Berlin. My name is Markus Droege. I'm the bishop of the Protestant Church in Berlin and in Brandenburg. And the Protestant Church is the biggest religious community in this town. We have about 1 million members. At your meeting, you deal with a subject that is very important for us in Berlin. And as the Bishop of Berlin, I will try to give you an understanding what this topic, the role of religions in peace building, means to us today in Berlin. It might be surprising that I emphasize the importance of the role of the topic of religion in this city, for Berlin is often called the capital of atheism, but that is not true. There is a variety of ideologies, lifestyles, cultures, and a diversity of religious life in my town, Berlin. The way we can maintain a peaceful coexistence within this diversity in Berlin is a key issue for this metropolis, and especially for us as Christians in Berlin, for the New Testament describes the Christian message as the message of reconciliation. However, the role of religion for peaceful coexistence in the modern and growing city of Berlin is by no means indisputable. The question remains whether religions are part of the solution or part of the problem. The fact that Christian faith, especially the role of the evangelical church in the GDR, the German Democratic Republic, contributed to the revolution 30 years ago, remaining peaceful, still lives in the consciousness of the people in Berlin. This coming October, we will remind at Gethsemane Church that the people 30 years ago were gathered in prayer in this very church on the 9th October 1989, 1 month before the wall of Berlin came down. Here in Berlin, they were praying. They were praying that the demonstrations in the city of Leipzig should remain peaceful. Because on that day, 1 month before the wall came down, the demonstrators in Leipzig tried to close a peaceful ring around the town of Leipzig. And they were concerned whether the state authorities would intervene by force. And when the news, the ring is closed, and there was no violence in Leipzig, when this news was transmitted from Leipzig to Berlin into the Gethsemane Church by telephone, the people staying in the church cheered. That is why today the people actively participating in the peaceful revolution 30 years ago do not consider the day the wall came down, the 9th November, is the significant historic date. In their judgment, the 9th October, 1 month earlier, is the significant day 4 weeks before the wall fell down, the revolution had a decision. It took a peaceful direction and avoided any turning into violence. And the people in Berlin, they were in church and they were praying that there shouldn't be any violence. And we believe that this is important so that we had a peaceful revolution and the wall fell down. However, the role of religion and the peace-building role of religion are superimposed by quite different experiences today. Today, religion as a whole, all different kinds of religions, has come under a general suspicion. For many contemporaries, they think that religions are not part of the solution, but religions are part of the problem, that there is no tolerance. And especially in Berlin, we have a lot of people who think that religion is the problem and religion is not the solution for tolerance. Meanwhile, it has been generally realized that 9/11, when the terrorist act in New York became, since that time, mistrust between the religions has spread. Ever since it has become evident again that destructive power can abuse religion, people are suspicious about religion. Here in Berlin, this reality has frighteningly close to the citizens at Christmas 2016. 2016 in Berlin, the truck attack, the terroristic truck attack on the Breitscheidplatz, destroying human lives. I think you have heard about it in 2016 when a truck went into the Christmas market and there were 12 people killed. And since this day, where a terrorist act destroyed human lives, the atmosphere has changed in Berlin, in our city. Since then, the atmosphere became more serious in our town. Already one day after this terrorist attack, we issued an invitation to a memorial service taking place in the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church on the Breitscheidplatz. This is the church consisting of a ruin from the Second World War and a new building. I think you know the picture of the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. There is the ruin of the Second World War and a modern building nearby this ruin. And for us, it is a symbol, this church is a symbol showing where war and why violence directs mankind. If violence starts and if there are wars, churches will be destroyed. And that's what we in Berlin see every day, a destroyed church of the Second World War. It was very important that we organized a service together with Jews, Christians, and Muslims one day after the terrorist attack. It was very important for our city and very important for our land. It was transmitted by television, and we were the first to spread the message. We, the representatives of different religions, together oppose hatred and contempt of mankind, and we jointly advocate that religion shall establish reconciliation and bring about peace. Thus, we very closely feel both aspects in Berlin. The experience that religion is a factor for peace, and also that religion is standing under suspicion. And that's why we are very strong in trying to show that religions are working together and that religions are a great force for peace. The peace and conflict researcher Markus Droege, it's a German peace and conflict researcher, expressed the reality we experience in an apt phrase. He said, "Only if we accept the ambivalence of religion, the peace-building potential of religions will be expected to being made accessible." He writes that on the one hand, there are religion heroes of nonviolence like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, or Desmond Tutu. But on the other hand, we have the clash of civilizations represented by the writings of Samuel Huntington, regarding religion as a power mainly strengthening conflicts. And I would now like to show you how we in Berlin are trying to strengthen the peace-building power of religions. 3 examples. First, interreligious celebrations on special occasions. I already mentioned the interreligious service we invited to on 20 December 2016, one day after the Berlin truck attack on the Breitscheidplatz. This memorial service represents the attempt to encourage the peace-building potential of religions. But the example drastically demonstrates that this power has to face resistance. The fact that the assassin regularly visited a Berlin mosque obscure efforts for reconciliation. Meanwhile, we as religious people of any denomination or religion in Berlin, we are watched with suspicion if we organize interreligious ceremonies. We are asked, with which partners do we cooperate? Which contacts do those partners maintain to which powers here in Germany and international in the world? And that's why we advocate the dialogue of religions with very great effort. Second, the House of One. Next year, on 14th April 2020, that is the anniversary of the premiere of Lessing's Nathan the Wise in 1783 in Berlin, that became famous for its ring parable as a message of tolerance between the 3 major monotheistic religions. And next year, on this day, the 14th April, the foundation of a House of One will be laid. This House of One has been designed to accommodate people belonging to 3 religions. One house for 3 religions in Berlin: Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It will offer 1 room for each religion and for the religion's ceremonies. But it will be 3 different rooms because we don't want to mix the religions. But there will be 1 room in the middle, and that will be the room where the different religions, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims can meet, and where they can start to talk with another, and they should start new projects. That will be the House of One in Berlin. It was designed by the famous architectural office Kühn Malvezzi, and it will cost some 30 million euros, this one house, but the financing has made progress. Many sponsors from Germany and beyond have contributed to this construction project. And the third example I want to tell you is a preschool for 3 religions. The preschool for 3 religions, for Jewish children, for Muslim children, and for Christian children. Here again, there will be no mixing of religions. 3 different religion educational concepts have been developed. But however, these 3 different religious concepts for the children are under 1 roof, and they are having a dialogue together so that already the children can learn We have different religions, but we are able to talk and to play with another. I think that should be enough to tell you that we in Berlin, we're trying with our heart to have tolerance between the religions, and we are trying to have a peace-building force of the religions here in Berlin. Thank you very much for your attention.